Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're diving headfirst into a story of absolute, unparalleled athletic glory. We're talking about a guy who didn't just play a sport, he completely rewrote the rulebook on what greatness actually looks like. We're unpacking the eternal legacy of Cristiano Ronaldo. So, if you've ever wondered what unrelenting, obsessive dedication to glory really looks like in human form, well, you are in the exact right place.
Let's kick things off with a number that frankly just defies belief: 970. That's the staggering number of official senior career goals Ronaldo has smashed into the back of the net for club and country. Just let that sink in for a second. 970. In the entire history of the sport, he's the undisputed top goal scorer of all time. The single number instantly cements his god-like status before we even dig into the details. It's the ultimate proof of a lifetime spent chasing immortality, match after match, year after year.
To wrap our heads around how he actually reached that astronomical figure, we'll map out his legacy across 5 key areas. We'll trace his journey from Madeira to legend, his conquest of global club football, his role as the captain of Portugal, the sheer math behind the ultimate goal machine, and finally, his status as a global cultural icon. Let's get right into it.
Chapter 1. From Madeira to Legend. Born in Funchal, Madeira, Ronaldo's beginnings were actually incredibly humble. In fact, by the 6th grade, he literally struck a deal with his mom and his tutor to drop out of school completely. Why? To focus 100% on football. His mother even noted later on that if he hadn't made it as a pro, he probably would have been a bricklayer. So going from a 6th grade dropout to a global icon, football supremacy wasn't just a dream, it was literally his only path forward.
So, what was the engine behind this massive rise to glory? Well, it becomes super obvious when you listen to his peers. Take this quote from Brazilian legend Ronaldo. He points out that Cristiano's unprecedented work ethic and physical prep are just on another level entirely. As he puts it, most players train because they have to, but Cristiano does it because he absolutely loves it. This obsessive body conditioning and his utter refusal to be outworked, that's the bedrock of his entire career and his insane longevity.
And it's fascinating how that physical prep morphed into this elite killer mentality. NBA legend Steve Nash actually compared Ronaldo to Michael Jordan, pointing out how Ronaldo adapted his game as he matured. He figured out how to make his individual brilliance incredibly decisive for his team, especially when the pressure was at its absolute highest. That game-changing maturity that defined Jordan on the basketball court, that's exactly what defines Ronaldo on the football pitch.
Moving right along to Chapter 2, conquering global club football. Because he didn't just dominate one league, guys, he conquered literally all of them.
Looking at his career path is like watching a global revolution unfold. From Sporting CP in Portugal, over to Manchester United in England, then Real Madrid in Spain, Juventus in Italy, and finally Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia, sparking what people are calling a total revolution in Asian football. The big takeaway here is that his success isn't tethered to one specific system or manager. I mean, he's the only player in history to score 100 goals with 4 different clubs. That is just wild.
And the hardware he picked up along the way? Totally staggering. We are talking 35 major trophies, 3 Premier League titles, 2 La Ligas, 2 Serie A titles, and a Saudi Pro League title in 2026. Plus, just a casual 5 UEFA Champions League titles. But here's the real kicker. He finished as the top scorer in 4 different domestic leagues across England, Spain, Italy, and Saudi Arabia. He literally conquered everywhere he set foot.
Which brings us to Chapter 3, Captain of Portugal. Because to really understand the full scope of his glory, we absolutely have to talk about his devotion to his national team.
Ronaldo took the captain's armband in 2008, and he is widely credited with completely changing the fortunes of Portuguese football. He didn't just play for Portugal, he elevated them to the absolute pinnacle of international competition. He carried his nation to their very first major tournament title at Euro 2016, and he didn't stop there. He led them to dominate the UEFA Nations League, winning the whole thing in 2019 and then again in 2025, finishing as top scorer in both. Talk about leading from the front.
And he pulled this off through sheer, relentless presence. 233. That is the massive number of international caps he's earned for Portugal since making his debut way back in 2003 when he was just 18 years old. That makes him history's most capped male player. His loyalty and commitment to his country absolutely unmatched in the history of the men's game.
Chapter 4, The Ultimate Goal Machine. Okay, we know he wins everywhere, but let's do a rapid-fire dive into the stats to really quantify this greatness. When the lights are the brightest, his dominance is just terrifying.
Think about the two most pressurized stages in world football. He's got 140 Champions League goals and 146 international goals. He holds the all-time scoring records for both of these massive, high-stakes arenas. So when the pressure hits its absolute maximum, Ronaldo's goal-scoring output doesn't drop. It actually peaks.
And look, the footballing world has recognized this individual brilliance over and over again. 5 Ballon d'Or awards, named the world's best player 5 times by FIFA, throw in a record 3 UEFA Men's Player of the Year awards, and 4 European Golden Shoes for good measure. The trophy cabinet is literally overflowing.
Now, of course, it's totally impossible to talk about all these records without acknowledging the environment that forged them. His generation-defining rivalry with Argentina's Lionel Messi was a massive catalyst here. They constantly pushed each other to break seemingly impossible records, driving one another to the absolute outer limits of the sport. This intense, decade-plus rivalry really fueled his legend and pushed him toward absolute footballing perfection.
And finally, Chapter 5, a global cultural icon. Because at this point, we have to look beyond the pitch to examine a cultural titan whose influence goes way, way beyond the boundaries of just sports.
His global influence is legitimately staggering. Ronaldo commands an audience of over 1 billion followers across Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. 1 billion! He is quite literally the most popular and marketable athlete on the entire internet. This grants him a level of global reach that is basically unprecedented in human history.
Naturally, that level of influence translates into some serious economic power. By 2026, Ronaldo officially entered the Forbes World's Billionaires list with a net worth of $1.2 billion. This just goes to show that his business ventures, his massive sponsorships, and his personal brand are every bit as elite and relentlessly successful as his footwork.
And because of this massive cultural footprint, his honors go way beyond traditional sports trophies. I mean, he's got a dedicated museum in his hometown, the Museo CR7. The local international airport is literally named after him. But here's the craziest one. Astronomers actually named a discovered galaxy Cosmos Redshift 7, or CR7, in tribute to him. You can't make this up. His glory quite literally reaches the stars.
We're going to wrap up this explainer with one final mind-bending statistic. Over 1,300 professional career appearances. That is the most by any outfield player in history. From a 6th-grade dropout in Madeira to a billionaire with a literal galaxy bearing his name, his journey is a masterclass in the sheer force of human will. So I'll leave you with this provocative thought. With a legacy built on this much relentless drive, insane longevity, and a hunger for glory that seemingly never fades, what records are even left for future generations to break? Thanks so much for watching, and keep seeking knowledge.